From song animes to meh to global hits, every year we get tons of anime to sift through. And then there are those that seem destined for greatness, but for some reason or other, it just doesn't happen. And through time, they seem to have been erased from our minds. Here are our picks for anime that we were hyped for, that had that GOAT potential that no one really talks about anymore. Coming in at number 10, Fina, Pirate Princess. This follows Fina on a journey to find Eden, which was her father's final journey and the location of something important that he had to protect. With nothing but a clear crystal as a clue, Fina is tasked with finding this place, as she is the only person who can do so. It's to be noted, Fina, Pirate Princess is a somewhat misleading title. Fina is a princess, true, but not exactly a pirate. There's more emphasis on romance and drama than actual pirate stuff, and the fact that instead of actual pirates, there are more samurai and ninja. It was a promising tale that was made laughable by contrived storytelling and convoluted fantasy elements. It starts well, and the little bit of mystery to start with worked nicely, and it felt like it was building to a larger story. It's bizarre though, in retrospect, how all the motivations that felt complex at the start end up feeling so simple and uninspired by the end. You can clearly see how it had a high production value, but the ending of the show is a really weird bit of writing that kind of spoiled the whole thing, which is why I think maybe no one really mentions it anymore. At number 9, we have Roka, Braves of the Six Flowers. Now legends state that when the Demon Lord rises, 6 heroes are summoned to go and fight. But when they meet up, there are 7 of them. Obviously, one is a fraud, but whom? The reason for this anime having a somewhat low rating is, I believe, because all the mystery lovers don't watch this anime while the action lovers do. The major confusing aspect was that the first 2 episodes gave off a going to fight the Demon Lord vibe. It got mystery fans uninterested and action fans excited. But then the story develops into more of a mystery with few and far-paced action scenes in between. The old saying, don't judge an anime by its cover art, rings true here. This one had potential, with an interesting story and an engaging mystery, but it kinda died out after its first season and no one seems to talk about it anymore. The light novel's abandonment could have had something to do with it, as it's on permanent hiatus. It seems that the anime's poor reception killed the author's drive to continue the story, so all in all, you mystery lovers, you can go watch this anime, but for those of you who like epic action scenes, this anime may not be for you. At number 8, To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts. This follows a werewolf protagonist who hunts down his former comrades that are also various beasts who are slowly losing their minds. It has an interesting concept, with parallels of soldiers being used, mentally destroyed, and then discarded by their government. It had a lot going for it, with excellent music by Mafumafu. The pitfall though was the story. You could see the effort and love put into production of this work. It just felt disappointing and underwhelming, thus withered away. At number 7, A Platinum End. From the creators of Death Note, which was perhaps its biggest challenge, to live in the shadow of a legend. There's a lot to say about Platinum End. Its concept, execution, characters, their quirks, intricacies, art, animation, its social commentary and outlooks. And yet, Platinum End's biggest flaws are Tsugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata. And even the fandom too. Chances are that nearly everyone that has read or watched Platinum End did so knowing, or perhaps solely for the reason that these two are authors of Death Note. However, Platinum End should not be watched as a successor to Death Note, which is what pushed so many people away from seeing Platinum End as what it was, its own story. Number 6. Hinamatsuri. Comedy is subjective. That's mostly true enough, except in this case. Look, I don't care what you say, this anime was perfect. In my ears, any criticisms of this masterpiece are not valid. If you enjoyed Joshiraku, you will love this too. Now, I've seen a lot of comedy shows in the past few years, and believe me, Hinamatsuri belongs in a category of its own and should never be forgotten. At number 5. Vivi, Fluorite Ice Song. This is a spectacular series. It combines action, smooth animation, sequencing, solid character development, and a fantastic soundtrack. I love this series. However, if we overthink the plot, yeah, you might lose all the enjoyment of this series. Needless to say, it wasn't perfect, but for those who watched it, it definitely left an impression. It stung though that even as it aired, not enough people knew about it, and soon after, the fandom just kinda went quiet. At number 4. Deadman Wonderland. For those of you who've read the manga, you know this is a fantastic piece of fiction. Complete with only 57 chapters and a cohesive story, it's sad that the anime adaptation was not exactly faithful to the source material, so much so that they left out important characters that would have had major roles in the future, making it nearly impossible to have a cohesive second season if that was ever to come out, which I don't think it ever will. This is a prime example of how not to do an anime adaptation, and the anime itself knew it, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. Coming in at number 3, we have Summertime Rendering. From the onset, Summertime Rendering has the air of a slice of life anime with a light-hearted and clean story, but as the story goes on, you find yourself drawn into a storyline that is amazingly intriguing and engaging. The anime adapts the whole manga. The 139 chapters of the manga are covered in all 25 episodes. There are no cliffhangers and the new season is not required. But then there were issues such as the second half not being as popular, and it got the Disney treatment, hence it was almost impossible to watch it legally weekly, so much so that by the time it was released, most who were interested in it had already watched it and were never going to go back, and as such, it faded into the recesses of anime archives. Coming in at number 2. Gleipnir. This is one of those you might want to watch alone. We have a boy turning into a literal flesh mascot costume, a girl entering him, an intriguing story, characters with well-defined personalities, and great action. This, I think, is one of those divisive anime where some would love it, but it just doesn't click with others. But nevertheless, I never thought the conversation on it would die out as quickly as it did. Now coming in at number 1. Akudamadrive. Perfect. That is the only way I can describe this anime. In my eyes at least. Tomohisa Taguchi and his team at Studio Pirates went crazy with this one. Simply put, individuals with talent and creativity had a wacky idea and they wanted to run with it. The story only had one goal, straightforward entertainment. And that's it. Despite what you take away from this, I guarantee that you will definitely not be bored, and it deserves to long outlive its run. Now note, this is not a definitive list or some such. We would like to know your thoughts on the list and any additions of your own in the comments down below. That's it for this video, hope you enjoyed it and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content coming your way.